Hi there, handbaggers, and welcome to the Duck's Nest. This is the Military Mom, and in this video we are going to do a comparison between satchels from two different designers. Before we get to the satchel comparison, however, I wanted to draw your attention to my t-shirt. This is my Muhammad Ali t-shirt, and I grew up during the time when he was fighting Joe Frazier and George Foreman, where he gained and lost and regained his heavyweight title and had verbal sparring matches with Howard Cosell. Those are very fond days for me, even though I'm not a fight fan. I am a Muhammad Ali fan because not only was he a great fighter, he was a great humanitarian. He did a lot to raise awareness of the plight of African Americans during the 60s and 70s. And he was a conscientious objector in the Vietnam conflict. He chose to go to jail rather than fight for something he didn't believe in, which I think spoke volumes for his character. So in my mind, Ali's always going to be the greatest. All right, on to the satchel comparison. Which satchels am I comparing? I am comparing my Marc Jacobs with my Dooney and Bourke. And for those of you who are familiar with my channel, you know that I am a Dooney and Bourke lover. So in this, I am going to try to remain impartial. Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you both bags, and then I will get into the comparison. So I have not attached the straps. So give me just a minute to do that, so that I can show you how Marc Jacobs looks on my shoulder. So this is how it looks in the crook of my arm, and how she looks suspended from my shoulder, and even crossbody, which is ridiculous because I would never carry this big old bag crossbody. So there's the Marc Jacobs. Let me just attach the Dooney and Bourke strap really quickly. So here she is in the crook of my arm. And then suspended from my shoulder. And even crossbody, again, I would never carry. I'm not a big proponent of carrying satchels crossbody. All right, so that is how both of these look. Let me just point out some features. The Marc Jacobs bag has an outside zip pocket that's accessed via this exaggerated zipper, which is really nice because it's covered by this flap of leather, which I think elevates the look of the bag. This Marc Jacobs has several options for attaching the strap, and all of these D-rings I think add style to the bag. Rolled handles, accessed via a magnetic clasp, and the Marc Jacobs has two silhouettes. There's this trapezoid, and then when this is undone, she has an east-west, and on the inside you will find a zippered pocket, and then what I call the Marc Jacobs transportation pouch. You can put your train pass or your bus pass there, your toll pass, and then she has a pouch which does not have any additional pockets or compartments on the inside. So this could be your key keeper, your wallet, or a very small cosmetic pouch. All right, there is the Marc Jacobs satchel. Now for the Dooney and Bourke satchel. She also has an outside pocket, a little different setup because the Dooney and Bourke outside pocket is accessed via this stylish tongue and loop. It has a gusseted pocket and neither of these bags have a back pocket. The Dooney and Bourke is accessed via a zipper, and she has standard setup where she has the slip pocket on one wall and then the zip and slip on the other wall. Now, on to the comparison. Marc Jacobs opens very wide and easily. Dooney and Bourke does not open wide, and you have the requirement of using the zipper. Marc Jacobs has a dark lining in all of the pockets. Dooney and Bourke has a beautiful cream, and it makes it easier to see what is in the bag and also in the pocket. Marc Jacobs has about an inch of leather collaring the top of the bag. Dooney and Bourke has about 5 inches of suede collaring the top of the bag. Marc Jacobs has a debossed logo that is filled in with gold lettering. Dooney and Bourke's logo is engraved on that palladium hardware on the outside and engraved on the leather logo patch on the inside. The handles on the Marc Jacobs bag does not collapse, and the handles on the Dooney and Bourke do not collapse either. The hardware on the Marc Jacobs is brass. The hardware on the Dooney and Bourke is palladium. Marc Jacobs leather, very soft and pliable. Dooney and Bourke, very stiff and structured. Marc Jacobs pebble leather. Dooney and Bourke is smooth. Dooney and Bourke bag has feet. Marc Jacobs bag does not. The Marc Jacobs bag is very light. Dooney and Bourke bag is heavier. I'm going back to the debossed logo for a second. So this Marc Jacobs, I have a feeling that over time this gold may wear out of this debossed logo, and it will start to look worn and not as nice as it actually is. This engraved Dooney and Bourke logo will not wear off because it's engraved in metal. Now the inside, who really cares? No one's going to see it. It's just the outside. I'm just afraid that that's eventually going to start to wear off. The hardware and the strap are what I want to compare at this point, and let me detach the straps on both bags because there's a huge difference in the straps, and it may not be what you think it is. So are the connectors for the shoulder straps. And you will see that the Dooney and Bourke Palladian is almost twice as large as the brass Marc Jacobs. Now, the Marc Jacobs connector is not a bad connector. It's hefty, it's just small. And it operates as smoothly as a Dooney and Bourke. But I personally prefer the Marc Jacobs strap. And let me explain why. This is a leather bag. This is a leather strap. This is a leather bag, and this is a webbed strap. Even though it has leather accents, I just think that this bag deserves a better shoulder strap than the one that Dooney gave it. Now, I do believe I know why. There was a huge outcry because for a while, Dooney was making ridiculously narrow straps for the heavier bags. And I think this was Dooney's attempt to rectify that situation, but I think that with this Florentine Toscana, it was a fail. This is a webbed strap. In my opinion, it's totally incongruous with this beautifully structured, elegant leather bag. This strap, in my opinion, belongs on a duffel bag or a gym bag. It does not belong on my Florentine Toscana. I know there are a lot of you who really like this strap because it's comfortable, it stays on your shoulder. I think Dooney should have worked on a leather strap that does the same thing. But I see no difference between that strap and this webbed key keeper that everyone has been commenting on, because at least the key keeper is on the inside of the bag and no one can see it. This, yeah, I'm not a fan of this strap with this bag. The other difference is the Dooney and Bourke bag has feet and the Marc Jacobs bag does not. I personally, though I like the rubber feet, I think that they could have made the rubber feet taller, higher, because it really doesn't lift the bag off of the surface of whatever you set it on. It's just there maybe to keep the bag from sliding. I don't know. Yeah, I think that this was a good idea, but they could have made the feet a little higher. And then back to the strap, the Marc Jacobs strap is more narrow, but I don't find that it's uncomfortable. I actually carry this strap because it's leather, and I don't carry this strap because it's not. So there you have it, handbaggers. The difference between the Marc Jacobs lighter weight pebble leather satchel and the smooth leather Dooney and Bourke Florentine Toscana satchel. I will have to say this though, the Toscana leather, because it's very stiff, has to be trained. It will never soften up to the point where it's pliable like this Marc Jacobs. I actually have to store this bag with a 16-ounce bottle just to get this to lay down, because otherwise it would stick up like this and then it would be just totally awkward for this beautiful bag. So am I partial to one satchel over the other? I am partial to the Dooney and Bourke satchel only because it's a Dooney and Bourke satchel and it's beautiful. This Marc Jacobs satchel definitely has a place in my handbag wardrobe. She's lightweight, and even though I am trending away from larger bags, even this Toscana satchel, I'm just such a Dooney and Bourke lover that of the two, I would probably reach for this one. So that is my comparison, you guys, between two similarly sized bags by two different designers. Both are beautiful and I enjoy carrying both of them, but after all, I am a Dooneyista. All right, thanks for stopping by the Duck's Nest, and as always, happy carrying.